The Badgers play their final home game of the season on Saturday, hosting Northwestern at 2:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Head coach Paul Chryst is here. We'll have some opening comments and take questions.
I thought it was a productive bye week for us. Got a couple days of good practice. It was fun being with the team, and then guys had the weekend and able to see a lot of them as they got back in. Some left town and got back yesterday, and certainly looking forward to getting this week going with preparations for a good Northwestern team. And this week's always big when you talk about seniors and their last opportunity to play here at Camp Randall. And I think it's special for all players as they finish their career and for that matter, for their families. And yet I think it's, Camp Randall's a pretty neat place to play. And for this group of seniors and what they've done collectively and I think individually, it's worth celebrating. And I'll tell the kids this, and they need to enjoy every bit of it. And the best way to remember this game is by playing well, and they'll do that. That's one thing that this group has is a focus about this team and being the best we can. But it's a big week. Looking forward to it.
Paul, last week Austin Traylor was pretty enthusiastic about his chances of playing. Do you feel as good about that he'll return? And also, is Corey's situation still tied to the surgery, or will the hand injury have any effect on his ability to play?
Austin, I think that he was able to do everything last week. I shouldn't say everything. He's limited a little bit in the hitting, but did a lot. And so I think it's how it goes this week. I know he is excited, and we're excited to have him back in practice. It was fun just getting him and have him run around. And Corey's will be nothing with the hand. And so I think it's just where his legs are with the whole deal.
Jesse?
Well, there have been a number of seniors contribute in meaningful ways, but what will you remember most about Caputo and what he has done for this defense?
I feel fortunate that with Mike was here when he was a freshman, and he certainly contributed a ton to the defense, to the teams that he's been a part of. But what's neat is, and that's what you're appreciative, or I'm appreciative as a coach, to be around this group. I didn't know Joe Schobert before this year, and Darius I did know about. There's groups where you're just proud of the way that they went through it and who they've matured into being. And so I think Mike's, getting back to the question about Mike, there's no doubt he's been a part of really good defenses here at Wisconsin. But the greatest thing is who he's been as a teammate and what other guys that he's played with think of him. I think that might be the greatest compliment, is just the respect that he has. And I think he earned it, but he also earned it by giving of himself. And I think there's a guy and I think a lot of the players would fall into this category of they gave it their all. And that's pretty big time.
Jason?
Paul, how would you assess the way Bo Benchawal has played as a freshman after kind of, I guess, getting thrown into the fire during Big Ten play after his injury?
I think Bo's done some very good things, and I think Bo's got a chance to be a good player. And I think he's certainly had good moments, and he's had moments that hasn't been maybe as good as he'd wanted to, but he's learning from them. And I love his approach. I love the way he plays. And so I think it's been good for him. He's been good for this team. And I think he can still get better. and has the ability and the knowledge and the want to get better, and that's encouraging.
Paul, obviously Joe Schobert has garnered a lot of attention, but from game 1 through game 10, what kind of performance arc has Beagle been on the other side from your eyes?
I think Vince has been playing well, and I think when you talk about Shobes and Vince, I like the fact that we're trying to set a pretty high bar for him. You expect those two to play well, and I think they have been, and we need them to play well to finish this out. But I think Shobes has probably garnered more attention, but I don't think that is because Vince is not playing up to, like I said before, what I think is a high standard. I think he's been doing that, and I love the energy that he gives this team, and he'll do anything for this team. That was one of my favorite plays was the fake punt, not because of, it was a good result, it makes you like it, but the way those guys approached it and what they owned it, and they loved playing for each other on that. And I bring that up because when you're talking about Vince and what's his level, he's on that, and I can still see his reaction in his face after that play. And it's not about, Shobes went into the record book as, he was the back on record. But all those guys owned it, and that was pretty cool.
Is there any chance Rob Wheelwright could play this week?
Probably not.
And do you expect Corey to participate fully in practice this week?
I do.
Paul, what kind of bowl implications, with two teams ranked like this, what kind of bowl implications are there? What do you think's at stake?
I think it is, both teams have kind of earned the right by the way we've both been playing to make it it's 2 8-2 teams. There has to be some bowl implications. I don't really know what they are. It's not as clear as it maybe used to be, and there's not the first place bowl, second place bowl, third place bowl. But I think that you'll look back and it'll be very specific. This game is going to have, all the games do, but as you get closer, this is going to, I think, play a big part in determining where we go. And I say that not really knowing. And I kind of like that I think that as a team, you play the season and then you earn the right. Whatever that season was, you've earned that right. You go where you should go. And, I always thought that you earn the right to play another game, and we have earned that. There's an outside chance that you could earn the right for 2 more games. We don't know. But the only thing you can focus on is what you're involved in, you can control. And the best way to do that is just by focusing on each day. So I think there will be, though. I think we'll look back at this game, and it'll be it'll be, I don't want to say big implications, but very concrete implications.
Yes.
I don't know how much of a chance you've had to watch Northwestern's defense at this point. Their linebacker, Walker, gets a lot of the credit, but I'm just wondering what you've seen from their defensive end, 94, Lowry. How does he affect the game? He had 6 TFLs against Nebraska a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think they're playing, you guys know this too, they're playing really well on defense, and I enjoyed the time that I was able to spend working with Mike Hankwitz here, and think the world of him as a football coach and as a person. And I think there's no doubt they're playing well on defense. You've mentioned some of their guys, but I think the strength is that they've got a very good scheme, and I think their players know it. And I think they've got good players. So good players in a good scheme. And I think that they're playing with confidence. And it's going to be a challenge for us. And, that's also an opportunity for us.
John.
How about as a whole team? I mean, this isn't a team that traditionally is looked at as a power in the Big Ten, but really in the last few years they were kind of playing that way.
Yeah, I mean, we got two teams, same record, and last year, our players played in that game and got beat, and the games I've been involved with it, I don't think that we as a team or players or coaches would kind of worry about what you, or not give credence to what you ask, but how you phrase the question, got a ton of respect for them, and they've been a good team for a long stretch, and so you throw on the tape and you see it, and we've got to have a great week of preparation, and it's going to be a heck of a game, I think, for us.
Paul, back to bowl destinations or chances for a bit. Reporters want early kickoffs. Fans like warm temperatures. What about a head coach? Is it as simple as give us the best matchup possible? I don't care what state the bowl is in for you?
I've always felt really fortunate to be a part of them, and I think a lot of it's because you have to earn your way to it. And I was lucky. My first bowl game was here, and we went to the Alamo Bowl, and Coach Alvarez, he's great in bowls and bowl preparation and the experience for the kids. All the other things, I don't really. I care, but doesn't affect me.
Having been around with the head coach or as a coordinator so many different senior days, what's the key or the challenge for the players, especially to deal with the emotions and the focus on the game as well?
I don't know if it's right, but I believe that the best way to approach it is to embrace it all, and there should be emotion, and yet I think that it's an interesting way that we do it, and it's before the game, and but I think you just got to be in the moment and embrace the moments, and you've got a couple different ones going on, pre-game and getting ready for the game, and then you got you see your families, and there's a moment to you can reflect later. I think it's being understanding what you're doing there, and I think for a player it's saying thank you to your family. It kind of marks it, and it's certainly important to us as a program and to the fans, I think, to acknowledge and appreciate all they've done, and then you get to go play. And I still think that the best thing you can do as a player is focus on the game, because that's the memory. That's really what it's all about. And you can reflect. Heck, you can reflect for 50 years, 60 years, whatever that is. You got time to do that later, but I think you got to be in the moment, enjoy it. But I think it's the beautiful thing is it's still all about the game.
Dennis.
Well, Paul, can you talk about Darius Hillary? He talked about the versatility. He had to go back and forth on some spots, and just his impact since you came back.
I think I've loved being around Darius and seeing kind of how he's grown as a player and as a person, and he means a ton to this team, and the number of different ways that he contributes, in the different packages and where he's playing, and I think just how he's handled himself through the season and the role that he's played in with other DBs and other receivers and just teammates. I think the world of Darius, and it's been fun. Very thankful to be a part of his senior year.
Paul, what have you enjoyed the most about working with Joel this season?
The everyday grind, and fortunately get to keep doing it for a while, and but I think it's just the day in and day out I enjoy the most.
Follow up on Joel, he kind of joked about what he thinks maybe his legacy or hopes it'll be here and what fans think it'll be might be two different things. What, in your opinion, having seen him as a youngster and now seeing the records and the numbers or whatever he's done put up here, his legacy will be on this program as a quarterback?
Well, I think that he's earned the right to have that discussion. And really, what's it matter? That and he's still got games to play, so wouldn't even start the discussion with him. And all those are at the end. People can say what they want to say. I think that the players that have played with him, I think that would probably be what matters most to him. And I don't think that would be something that he'd feel good about. I think it's something he'd be really proud of.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Paul.